kinds of images really stuck with me. Then I interviewed doctors and registered dietitians over the years who, you know, as I started connecting the dots, it was like, aha, there's no money in broccoli. And I started coming to this reality as a woman who was faced with so much breast cancer. Doctors also told me to breastfeed long and often, and I took them so seriously that I actually became a La Leche League leader and trainer in Missouri. That's a breastfeeding information and support group for those who don't know. And as any breastfeeding mother will tell you, this is just so much common sense that we are the only species that drinks milk from another species. And if you start drinking cow's milk, you are going to, things in your body like tumors are going to grow very quickly from small to large, as cow's milk is meant to make baby cows grow into ginormous cows in a fairly short order. So human milk is much more tailored toward making us grow more slowly and developing different parts of our body in ways that cow's milk does not. So that was affecting me. But really what did it for me is after I left 18 years in television, where I got 2 Emmys and the National Press Club Award, I became a financial consultant at Smith Barney for 5 years. Now, keep in mind, I was not one of those Wall Street folks who got a big bonus. I never made more than $20,000 a year once I was spun off from the initial training program. And I found that it was great training, though, for writing this book and learning about financial planning. So putting all the dots together for me personally, I was sitting there watching the news one morning, and I saw this 300-pound woman loading up her cart with Twinkies and macaroni and cheese, and the reporter stuck the microphone in front of her face, as I often used to do, and she said, you know, you just can't eat well on a budget. And I saw so many stories like that, but this one in particular, I just ran to the computer and started writing and putting the recipes together. I lived on the floors of big box stores like Walmart for 3 years, tracking prices as I did as a consumer reporter, tracking the Consumer Price Index. And I put it all in on different Excel sheets over the months. As my iPhone technology developed, I tried scanning prices, but that didn't work as accurately as the old pen and paper. And then I entered it into a software program that actually factored the individual ingredients of recipes by cost. I would have to enter that cost, but if I put in a tablespoon or a cup of soy milk, it would know how much it would cost for that ingredient. So my recipe book is all full of priced out recipes. The original title, you'll be interested to know, was Eat Well on $3 a day. So that tells you how long I've been working on it.
Wow.
So I had to up it to $4 because there was a little bit of inflation.
Sure, right.
But my whole thing is the price of beans just doesn't change that much over the course of the years that I've been tracking this. Price of dairy, price of milk, price of meat, through the roof.
So you worked on it long enough where you had to sort of upgrade or elevate the title figure a little bit. So along the way, when you were dutifully doing all this research and crunching those numbers, what sort of objectives did you have when you were working on it and writing the book, and like what sort of outcomes were you really hoping for once you sort of got to the finish line?
Never turn a former investigative reporter loose in Walmart with an iPhone.
Okay, all right. Well, that's a cautionary tale. That's not necessarily your story, but that's for others to be aware of. Well, it was my story.
Yeah. I mean, I was doing it just because as I go around the country now, I have a slideshow, and I want to show people how cheap vegetables are. And as I stayed at Walmart, I was taking pictures of some of the food that would be in the frozen food aisle that was so much more expensive. I mean, keep in mind, my focus has been price. If you can show people how cheap it is to eat this way, I really feel like they're going to flood to the vegetarian or vegan table. But I would be catching pictures of people in these aisles who were weighing 300 pounds or more, and you couldn't tell the difference between the patients who were on the motorized vehicles and their caregivers. I mean, I just wanted to run up to them and say, you know, there's a great bargain on beans a couple aisles over. So really, as my publisher has talked to me about it, I'm really going for the Walmart crowd, people who would never think of eating vegan. And you know, the original title was Eat Well, and I wanted to reach the broader audience. I didn't think that people at Walmart would really embrace the term vegan. And then something beautiful happened. Bill Clinton came out of the closet about his eating vegan and how it saved him from a third bypass surgery and a third stent. And this is the story now of why so many people are looking at this. But when I worked at Smith Barney, one of the things that I thought was interesting, I focused on socially responsible investing, which means providing for clients companies that don't invest in tobacco, alcohol, and firearms, and for a smaller subset, people don't want companies that test on animals. And in my dealing with that, I found that companies didn't really care about the environment until you could show them how they could save money by not only recycling their own company's cans, but other companies' cans. And that was my focus with this book. If you can show people that the cost of beans, an equal serving of beans, is 1/6 the price of an equal serving of the cheapest, most disgusting form of hamburger meat, which is 30% fat, then they'll be rushing to the table. You know, I don't expect that everybody's going to go, oh yes, I want to be vegan, but if you can replace 2 or 3 meals a week over the course of a week